So the first game we're going to talk about is Welkin.
Designed by Fabien Tanguy, artist is Tohad, published by Ankama.
Yep, so to give the quick overview of Welkin, basically you're trying to build a bunch of floating cities or something. I don't know.
Islands or cities?
Yeah, floating islands in this city or whatever, using resources. And once you do so, you get points. And at the end of the game, whoever has the most points wins.
Bam.
Right, bam. Elevator pitch. To give it a little bit more detail, though, on your turn, you have 3 actions that you can take. Or you're going to take 1 action of 3 available actions. 1 action is to take one of the construction cards out in the center. There's going to be 5 of those. You put that on your player board. You can have 2 of those, minus the special abilities. The second type of action is probably the most important, and that's how you get resources. So on your player board, you have 5 different resources that you're going to gather, like plant parts, animal parts, elements, steel, and the 5th one.
Mm-hmm. Jewels.
There we go. So you're going to have those 5 different ones. You can flip over one of these tokens. So on the front side, it has the image of the different resource, and on the back, it has just a +1. And what that means is, after you flip your tokens, you resolve what you see. So the first flip is free. Every additional flip is 1. You can flip as many times as you want, or up to 5 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When you flip them, say you flip over 2. So you pay $1, and now you see 2 +1s, which means you're going to get 2 resources of any of the available types that you see. So if you flip down your steel and your plants, you won't be able to pick from the steel or plants. You'll be able to pick from the other 3. And then next turn, you'll flip stuff back up to the resource symbol and flip other ones down. So you'll kind of go back and forth on those to collect resources. You can only have 4 of those, though, in front of you. The third type of action is to actually take the 4 up to 4 resources that you've collected and put those on the cards that you got earlier from picking the cards in the middle. If you complete a card, you're going to get points, and the points is equal to the bidding tokens that's on this circular board in the middle of the table that also has those 5 cards you can pick from. There's 10 bidding tokens. You kind of shuffle those up and throw them on the table and put them in the pie slice. Picture it like a 5-section piece of pie, and each section is one of the resources. And it might have plants might have 2 of the tokens, steel has 3 of the tokens, and the other ones are other places. So when you complete your construction of a site, you're going to get points equal to how many bidding tokens of each thing. So if you had 1 steel and 2 plants, right, and the steel had 3 bidding tokens, you'll get $3. If the plants had 2 bidding tokens, you'll get 4 because it took 2 resources of plants to build it.
And it'll range from 0 to 4 in each of those sites.
So some of those resources could be emptied, so you may not want to complete it until those building tokens flip up and down back to the plant section or whatever. Because once you take one of the cards from the middle, a new card will flip over from the stack, which denotes how long the game is. You basically have 20 or 24 cards depending on the player counts. Once those are all taken, the game plays one more round, the game ends, whoever has the most points wins. But as the cards come out, some of them or most of them will cause the player who revealed them to flip one of the bidding tokens, which will change what it goes from and to. So it might flip from plants to animals or plants to steel or whatever. Last thing about the game is when you complete a building, you also put it off to the side because it is a special power that you can use once. Like you can, deliver your resources for free, or you can buy a new card for free, or you can, but when I say for free, it doesn't cost your action for that round, or you can flip it and buy two resources for $1, stuff like that. There's a couple more, but not really necessary to talk about. So anyway, gameplay is about 30 minutes.
Something to
45
mention.
minutes. What?
Yep. Something to mention is that when you flip those tokens in the middle and they change their spot, you're not doing it as a memory game on each of the tokens. Mm-hmm. It indicates what is on the other side. So you're making that decision consciously.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to take it away from this particular one, and it's going to go to a specific other one.
Deliberately, yes.
Right.
Yeah, so we can talk about our thoughts now. But basically, yeah, you might see that one player they have a card that requires 3 of a resource, but there's 4 tokens out there. You want to quickly get those off of that resource so that they don't make, $12 off a card kind of deal. So, Matt, did you check out a video of this one?
Yes, I did.
What'd you think of it initially?
It's very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very
colorful.
pretty game. Yeah, very colorful. The artwork's nice. I'll be honest with you. I was having a lot of trouble grasping the whole, mini market kind of like stuff that's going on in the middle and all that. I think I got a little bit more, a little better this time through, but I still think I'd have to play it to really grasp what kind of is going on. I mean, I got the basics of it, but
Yeah, each one is only going to be, it's going to be worth 0 if it has no tokens in it, up to a max of 4 is the max tokens in one spot.
right.
Yeah. And there's only 10 tokens, and there's what, 20 spaces?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
So they're just dodging around on all the different
they're
spots. and
bouncing
everything.
back and forth, and you kind of want to wait to say, like I was saying, you've got a card that requires 3 steel and a plant.
Mm-hmm.
You might not even care if the plant makes you any money, because the plant section might have like 1 token on it, but you really want the steel token, the steel pie, to have like up to 4 tokens, because then you'll get 4, 8, $12.
Right.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
You want to maximize how many points you get for, the majority of whatever you have.
Which
Yeah.
I think is amazing. Like, this was one of the cool, like, this was the thing about the game. Did you like that?
I did enjoy that aspect of it. I felt a little, it was intimidating to me to sort of try to plan ahead and not really know what the heck I was doing. Like, it worked out. Things happened, and it worked out that I was, getting points, but I didn't feel like I was really the master of the situation.
So there is some strategies that you can implement. You can draw a card. Most of the time, you're going to have the ability to flip over 1 tile. Other than that, you can't really influence that market unless you have a card that you completed in a previous round that lets you flip over 2 of them.
Yeah, that's one of the special abilities on one of the completed cards, is you spend it and flip over 2 tokens, which I almost felt like was probably the most powerful special ability.
Oh, it's
Yes,
fantastic.
I agree. Right.
Yeah.
Most of the other ones give you kind of like a free action almost, where it lets you, maybe ship out, things that you didn't fully complete, or, it might give you a free buy. But for that one, yeah, it definitely helps a lot, because, I mean, you're going to try to maximize what you can do in a turn. So you want something that has 3 or 4 of the same symbol on it. I'm not sure actually if there's any 4s, but you want, 3 symbols of the same type, and then you want to max out that, that card.
Right. I wouldn't think there's 4 of the same type, but there's cards
definitely
with
3.
4 things on them, but they're not the same things.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that one felt the best, at least to me, because I'm getting free things. I'm getting these things, and I don't have to plan way ahead to get them.
I did the opposite. I was like, I want all the 3s, and I want to mitigate, or, not mitigate that market, but change that market
To make that one thing.
to make that one thing happen.
Yeah. I had a hard time wrapping my head around this one.
I think the interesting thing is it's for such a short game. I mean, it is relatively short. I mean, I think if you played it a couple times, you could do it in like 40 minutes.
Oh yeah.
That's very quick, yeah.
40 to 45 minutes is probably about accurate.
Actually, I felt for me anyway, I felt it was kind of light. I do think that is going to be somewhat luck based.
Well,
Just even on the type of cards that come down. Sometimes, a card is going to be available and there's already 3 tokens on it. That's going to be a gimme. You want to take that.
Yeah.
But sometimes there are going to be, I forgot if there's 4 or 5 cards out, but none of them are going to be worthwhile to get. But
Right.
you're going to have to grab one of them.
Well, it is a card game, so there's definitely luck of the draw.
yeah, that's fair. I forgot the disclaimer. We did get this as a review copy.
Okay.
I need to mention that
Mm-hmm.
a little up front to everyone. But I will say that I agree. I think it's a lighter game, but what I was saying is, for the length of the game, it does have a little bit of depth to it. For the length. It's not just like, the only problem I see is that if you play it a bunch of times, it really does become samey, but not in like a bad way. It's just like nothing's really going to change between plays.
Game to game. Yeah, you basically see all the cards every game.
Well, I mean,
You're
you don't
seeing
see them
of
all, but I mean, what are they? Just a different combination of resources?
Yeah, different
whoop-de-doo.
combinations.
I mean,
Yeah. So, and different.
you'll probably see all the special abilities. For
special
sure.
abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
there's only 6, I think.
I think the game feels deep because trying to get things in the order that you want just feels tricky. And I never, like I said, I never really did feel like I had a handle on it,
Yeah.
the way I wanted to. And part of that might have been, just sort of the luck of what was happening.
Right.
My concern is the game playing me as much as I'm playing it? Like,
Right,
was
yeah.
I just along for the ride? And, or am I really controlling what I need to be controlling to do well?
Right.
Right. And I'm not sure that's a big problem necessarily, because the game, as Matt said, is gorgeous. And the steps that you take to play the game are simple enough to understand that it's a family weight, You know,
I agree.
anybody could play this game.
Yeah.
But my question is, to play it well, you know, is there someone out there who's just a pro at this one, and I'm hopeless, or is it sort of this sort of thing where, yes, I'm playing this game and I'm subject to the vagaries of luck?
Mm-hmm.
I think that you could play this game a couple of times and then be really like good at it,
You can cap out on it.
but you'll cap out.
Right.
Right. I don't think it's going to be a game like I
It's
don't
not like chess or something.
right. It's not like chess where you're going to become some master.
Right.
But-
It's like, I know every move. I have my 7 moves already planned out.
But what I mean is I don't think it's kind of like Splendor in such a way too, where Splendor is deceptively strategic.
Mhm.
Like after a few plays, you're like, I really know what to do.
Because you're building an engine on Splendor. Yeah, on this one, you're building somewhat of an engine, but it's more limited. You know, you might get specific cards because they're going to give you specific powers,
Yeah.
or you're going to get specific cards because those are the ones that are going to give you the most points at that moment.
Yeah.
Not
Which
that
can change.
I'm not comparing it to Splendor as far as play. It plays nothing like it, obviously, but
Right.
I think it kind of reminds me of the depth of Splendor.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really simple game, but there's a lot of depth to what this compared to the simplicity. The only thing I wish though is I wish there was more ways to influence the market, like in the middle,
Right.
the bidding tokens. It would be cool to see an expansion. Like I would actually like an expansion that would drag this game out to like an hour and a half game, and add that one layer of
I don't know if I
thickness
would
to it.
like more changes to the market, because you're basically getting a card and then you're spending a turn or two to complete that card. If you give other people too much abilities to change the market, you know, you're going to complete this card that has 3 things on it, and you have 3 other players that are going to totally change that market by the time it comes back to you. So,
Right.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
You could take sorry.
But you can make it cost something hefty, like 3 or 5 gold type of deal. I'm not saying that would be good at all. That would kind of be bad. I would
right.
never
Well,
do that.
Yeah, you don't like to give up victory points to
Yeah, I don't.
do something.
Right, but I mean, I'm just saying it would be cool if an expansion thickened the game up a little bit more.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily. It doesn't have to only
Change
change
the
the
market.
market
Mhm.
itself. But I liked what was going on, and I think the resource gathering was so strong that if it was in a deeper game, it would even be more amazing.
That's what I was going to suggest, is that maybe not having the market at all and having that particular resource mechanism where you have to flip these and then you get what's left. That's such an interesting thing, but have it in a different sort of overall game, like almost like Mystic Veil was the precursor to that other game. Do you guys, you know, whatever that game was called?
Custom Heroes. I don't know.
No, you know, Mystic Veil, where you put the cards
Right,
inside the sleeves, but then they came out with this big Kickstarter where it was in a bigger game.
Yeah,
Oh.
I saw the Kickstarter. I don't remember
Okay.
what it is now.
Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway, something like that, where you take this mechanism of flipping over the things and getting what's left and then flipping them back and et cetera, and taking that and making it part of a different overall
Yeah,
art.
somebody just needs to take that mechanism and reuse it. Is basically what you're saying.
That's what I'm
In
saying.
a deeper game. I agree. But even in this game, it works out pretty well. I'm very surprised by it. I mean, I didn't know anything about it until you texted me while we were at Gen Con. Hey, look this game up because you like floating islands. That's like legit a requirement that bypasses all other requirements.
I knew you liked floating islands,
Floating islands, I'm in. I don't even care.
and I really like the art.
Oh yeah, the art's really pretty. I did notice that on Board Game Geek that it has got a best with 2 players thing. We didn't play it with 2.
Oh,
That would be kind of cool.
I can see that.
Because then you're really just like, I think it's best with 2 competitively,
Sure.
but it plays fine with 3 and 4. I don't, like you said, the market doesn't change that much to where you feel like you're playing 5 tribes, and by the time it's your turn, you're like, well, what's the point in completing this now?
Mhm.
If it happened, you should have been aware of it because the players probably already had those special abilities waiting.
Well, a lot of times, what you want to do is kind of piggyback on other people as well. If you
Right.
see a lot of people are going for, or at least one other person going for the stone, you might go for stone too, and you're both kind of hoping that stone retains its value.
Plants.
true.
Or animals, sorry.
Mhm.
It looks like stone, but it's animal
Or
parts.
is it?
Yeah, I mean that's a cool way to do it, and like have the best way is like watch you complete something because everybody else is trying to get the bidding tokens over to the plants or whatever, and then you complete your plants, but then you spend the special ability to drop 2 of those tokens out to something else. So it's got a little bit of strategy, got a little bit of I wouldn't say take that, but conflict-ish.
I would say there's a little bit of take that, just because you can do stuff, right before you're gonna, I can see when you're gonna cash in a card or complete a card, so I can grab a card myself, and there's a good chance I can flip one of those tokens over.
Yeah, that's very true, because you can't stand still in the game. You have a limited number of things that you can hold before you ship them out. You have a limited number of islands
that you can hold.
You can
in your
hold to
playboard.
create.
Right.
So you can predict. Well, you can know for sure when people have to do things, and you can mess with them. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I liked it quite a bit, and I think that it definitely is a good length for what you're doing.
I liked it a lot more than I thought I might, as when I got started and I thought I'm lost. And then, by the end of the game, I was thinking I really enjoy this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was okay for me. But if it does sound interesting to you, it is on pre-order for $25. So it's actually
wow, that's a great price.
For the price, I would say that's pretty good. But
oh no, that's fantastic for the price. It even comes with an insert that holds everything really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Although it is like 20 millimeters away from the top of the box, so it's not one of the games you can store vertically. Because the punch boards, if I remember correctly, the punch boards were smaller than the footprint of the box, so you can't
put
even
it in the bottom.
Yeah, you couldn't even put it underneath of it. Because I think I tried that and then I threw them away when I knew it wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I guess you probably could now I think about it, because all the wells go down really to the bottom and they're big. Oh, whatever. Anyway, I'll put something in there to bring it up. But it's a nice insert because it carries everything. I don't know why the board folds, but that's fine. Because it fits in the box unfolded, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is weird. But no, really fun game to me. The only other thing I'd say it's kind of interesting is that the artwork on the center board almost looks too busy, but it really didn't distract me from understanding where the bidding tokens were.
Yeah.
Because you got all the art for the different pie slices to mimic the type of resource, and then each token has a resource on it, like the full print, but then it has like a half circle on the side to show what's on the other side. So it's just it looks like a lot.
It's very busy.
It's very busy.
That is true.
But I never felt like when I was playing it that it was a big deal.
No.
Right.
So
It's a look.
yeah, it's a look. Anyway, good game. Anything else? Final thoughts?
Good.
I recommend it. Matt, you excited about it now?
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Sweet. That is Welkin.